Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of What's Cookin Jersey Shore. We're here at Spike's Fish Market and Restaurant, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. This is definitely an institution. It's been here 97 years. We're going to go in. We're going to talk to a couple people about the history, and then we'll do a little tasting. Talk to you inside. All right, guys. I'm here with Jason, one of the managers of Spike's Fish Market and Restaurant here in Point Pleasant. Basically, like I said, it's one of these institutions like everything else that we've gotten to see. 97 years in business. Jason, tell us a little bit about the history of this place.
Yeah, so while we're called Spikes, Casey Stingle's brother was known as Spike Stingle. Obviously manager for the Mets, played for the Yankees and all that. His brother came down here, opened this up, original owner back in the 1926 when we opened. It's been through a few hands since then. Our current owner has no relation or anything. He's at about 30 years. But it's a nice little piece of history. We have a few pictures hanging on the wall of him down here. But when we started out, we were really just a fish and bait thing almost right on the water. People would come by. And the building here was about half the size. It was added on in about the 60s or 70s. And eventually it moved into a full restaurant. Now we're a restaurant, fish market. A pretty staple of the town.
It's like I said, I was telling you earlier on before on camera, we live 2 towns over. And we've been meaning to get here, and during the summer it's hard to get in here, period. I was asking you before, you guys use a lot of local resources as far as fish too. Everything, I mean, you got the water right behind you. A lot of local lobster, local scallops, stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So we got some fish behind us. With the sea bass, we usually get back there and things like that. Most of the fish is local: flounder, scallops, sword, tuna, depending on the time of year, could be local. Anything around there is usually close with the Atlantic and things like that. We'll rotate our fish of the days in. Those tend to be local. Sometimes we get a little specialty fish from somewhere else to try out. But we try to keep everything fresh, local. One thing we're actually kind of known for is we don't fry everything at all. So we keep everything very fresh, water right in the broiler to your table. Keep it as fresh as you can right on the plate.
Guys, Spike's Fishery and Seafood. It's been here 97 years, probably going to outlast you and I. Got to come check it out if you haven't been here. Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Jason, thanks a lot.
Of course, thank you.
All right, they started us off with their homemade Lobster Bisque. Very, very good. It's creamy, it's very hearty, and you can taste the chunks of lobster in it. Very, very, you can tell it's freshly made, what they do here in All right, we got Jason's back here again. He's going to talk a little bit about the food we tasted and what we're going to taste. The Lobster Bisque, homemade here.
Yeah, definitely. So all our soups, homemade. Chefs are making them every day. Get these massive pots. We go through so much of it. Recipes are definitely a big secret.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's one thing we're really known for is our soups. This bisque right here wins like best local soup every year by like TripAdvisor and things like that. In my opinion, it's my favorite soup we have here. Very creamy, very rich. Add some crackers, dip some bread in there. Nothing beats it.
Next, we have Malafemina,
yes,
which means in Italian, evil woman.
Yes.
And I can see we got probably some local mussels, scallops, lobster, and clams over linguine, and shrimp I see there too.
Of course, yeah. It's a mix of all seafood. Every night we do a pasta of the day special. This specifically one is like a red clam sauce, some spices in there. Some might be scampi, and mix it up with those things. But the pasta of our day is some of our most popular dishes.
Well, we're going to dig into this too. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, I'm going to taste the linguine Malafemina. It's a nice seafood sauce. You can taste the spices, taste the garlic in it. And it's not overpowering. It's nice and subtle. I'm going to taste a little piece of the scallop. These look like day boat scallops, which are locally sourced. Cooked perfect. They're nice, they're tender. Got that little bit of crunch too when you bite into it, and they're nice and tender on the inside. Then we've got lobster, like I said, mussels, clams, and shrimp. All in all, it's a good tasting dish. Jason, give us a good suggestion for tonight. You go to Spike's, if they have it, lobster Malafemina. I don't know if it's something that's on the menu all the time, but I think it was one of the daily pasta specials. Very, very good dish. This brings us to another conclusion of another episode of What's Cookin' Jersey Shore. Another hidden gem, an institution, been here 97 years. The name Spikes came from Casey Stengel's brother, I believe he said it was. It was a relative of Casey Stengel. We're going to show you still shots of the inside of the place. We spoke to Jason, told us the history. Fresh, local, resource seafood. That Malafemina that I tasted, you can taste the freshness. The shrimp were gigantic. The lobster was fantastic, tender. Scallops, mussels, clams. Over linguine that was cooked perfectly al dente. Nicely seasoned blush clam sauce that they did. And the Lobster Bisque, heard it yourself, they won a lot of local competitions with it for the best seafood soup that they're, bisque, chowders. They've won several things, but the Lobster Bisque has won one of the most things. So, if you've got a favorite hidden gem, something that's got some history, a story to tell, put it in our comments. We'd love to go check it out. I'm Chef Umberto, and for What's Cookin' Jersey Shore, tante bella cose.